Hello, my name is Melanie Wesley, and welcome to the Salon Social Podcast. On today's episode, we are joined by Rashane Johnson, a visionary hairstylist with over 10 years of experience and the owner of R Beaute Bar. She shares her journey and her passion for healthy hair care, modern extensions, and color. Rashane opened up her salon with the goal of making women feel confident to embrace their natural beauty. She also emphasizes the importance of professionalism and continuing education. Rashane shares her expertise with hair extensions, and she has a course and ebook to help other stylists reach their full potential while empowering each other. We also discuss the challenges of being a business owner, the need for marketing, and creating a work-life balance in business. I hope you can find key takeaways from my conversation with Rashane, and I am forever grateful to you for lending me your ear. Until next time, be good, be true, be you. Hello. My name is Melanie Wesley, and welcome to the Salon Social Podcast. Today, we are joined by my friend and fellow Aveda classmate, Rashane. And let me just quickly introduce her. Rashane is a visionary hairstylist with over 10 plus years in the beauty industry. She loves her passion for healthy hair care and healthy hair care. Her innovative approach to beauty has allowed her to become a trusted pioneer in the beauty industry, of course. She opened her salon, R Beaute Salon and Company in Atlanta, with the main goal being to make women feel confident through luxury beauty and for them to embrace their natural beauty and feel good in their own skin. I love that. She specializes in healthy hair care, modern extensions, and color, which you were even really good with color, even in school, let me just say. Okay. You're welcome. She has been recognized for her modern extensions and color blending techniques. She prides herself on her professionalism and continued education. Through furthering her education, she has received certifications for Bellamy. Am I saying that right? Bellamy.
Yeah.
Redken, Brunette Academy, and many more. With her love for hair, she developed a passion to teach stylists about healthy hair care, modern extensions, hair coloring, which has pushed her to create a platform where stylists can come together, learn, network, and empower one another. Yes, welcome, Rashane. That is so impressive. I love everything that you said, everything you stand for. Absolutely. But yeah, like I just remember we met each other at Aveda, and I just remember you were just always so good with color. You just, I don't know, color was hard for me. Like color is still kind of hard for me. But like some people have their natural talents, and like that was just one of yours. And you were just good with like the pressing and the curls, and your hair always looked really pretty. You always had that long, beautiful, flowy hair. So yeah, I mean, it's no surprise that you're just doing all the things and you're thriving, and I'm so happy for you. So congratulations to you for that.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you.
So when
Thank
you were, I started going through my phone book. I'm like, who can I call to ask to be on my podcast? And like, again, based on what we talked about, like you were one of the people that came to mind. I'm like, I gotta ask her to do it. I didn't know if you were gonna be available, but I'm so happy that we can do it today. So like, how did you? I know you were, like I said, you were very natural with the color and like, pressing and stuff. Was that when you discovered your niche, or is that like something that just always came natural to you? Like, how did you find yourself in this lane here with like color and extensions and stuff like that?
I know like before Aveda, I would start playing with extensions, like doing like sew-ins. Not the techniques that I do right now, but mostly like the sew-ins. I would do quick weaves every now and then, but just kind of practicing on my friends, my aunt. I kind of grew up in, my aunt had a salon. Actually, a few of my aunts had salons, but I was like, okay, this is not it. But I knew I liked color because it was such a challenge. And it was never like the same. You get to customize it. So even with my hair, like I would play with different colors from blonde to red to like mahogany. And I just
Yeah.
always took like an interest to it because it was a challenge. Never
Yeah.
hair cutting, but definitely colored.
Yeah, I mean, I find that like stylists who are really, really good with color are okay with cutting, and then those that are really, really good with cutting are okay with color. Like it's like one or the other thing, right? It's hard to find
Right.
someone that is like really bomb in both.
Yes. Yes.
So color, okay. So you had like the experience of having other family members in the beauty industry. That's how kind of how you got your first. Is that how you got your first taste of the beauty
Yes, like
industry?
even with my great aunt, I had to be like, I would say like 6 and 7. And my great aunt lived in Champaign, Illinois. So we would be going up there. She would have women coming into her house, like in her salon home. And I would
Yeah.
just love it. With my hair, I just like love like playing in hair. But I'm like, okay, I don't really see this as a career. But
Yeah.
as I got older and then I had my son, I was like, okay, let me try to shift things and just see like maybe I should just try cosmetology school after I had already graduated with my bachelor's. I'm like, oh my God, I really, and one thing that stuck out to me, like in Aveda, was color. It was just
Yeah.
formulating, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I like how you can do the 6N and the grams and just kind of customizing it. It's not like, oh, it you have to stick by this. You can customize it. You can put a little
Yeah.
violet gold. And I enjoyed that.
Yes. I think I was absent the day that they had that color class in
Yeah.
elementary school because
Yeah.
because when I tell you I mean I'm better now because of experience and practice, but like when we were in school it was just like another language. I'm just like this just
Yes.
doesn't make sense to me. Like
Yes.
what you're saying, I just cannot process it.
It's
But
a process.
yeah, but it was like once I got into the field, that's when it all kind of clicked. Some of the things clicked to me. I'm like, oh, okay. So if I put this,
Yes.
that's gonna cancel that and blah 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 blah. But by then, I think I was just more comfortable and I was just better with cutting, and so I
Yes.
kind of ran with that. I still do, I did color for clients, but I didn't
Mhm.
get into it like you do. Like you are, girl.
Oh,
Some of your
thank you,
pictures, I'm
ma'am.
just like,
Thank you.
your your
And this
your colors are amazing. So go ahead. I'm
thank
sorry.
you. I know I'd be so hard on myself. I'm like, oh, I should have did this, but and then it's also about like when you're color, not just the formulating, but the technique of it. Like
Mhm.
your where you place it. And I guess I'm so visual. Like
Yeah.
when I'm painting the hair, I can see, okay, if I paint this way, it's gonna fall like this and blend in. I know it gets so deep, but
I
it's like
love it.
therapy. It's kind of like just relaxing and painting and
Yeah, kind of like someone painting on canvas, but you're painting
it is.
on hair, so it is a therapy. That's great. I mean, I don't think everyone has that thing when it comes to
Yeah,
color because to some people that might seem tedious
right.
and it's just such a long process, especially when you have to do double process like you lift and then you put tone and that sort of thing. So it could be like hours of
Yeah.
work,
Oh,
right?
yes.
So
Yes.
like, it definitely takes a special type of person that really enjoys what they're doing to kind of see it in that way. So that's great that you found. So would you say that was kind of like a natural thing for you to just kind of fall into that, or you just found it, like you said, you found it challenging, but you also enjoy it. So like that must
Yeah.
have been easy for you
Yeah,
to kind
I
of.
think it's easy because it is a challenge. So it's like I'm always trying to figure out how do you do it? What has to be, or, like, what should I mix to get this color or that color? So I think
Are
that's
you
why
ever afraid? Are you ever scared that you're gonna mess up?
oh, yeah. Serotonin, but the thing is that if you know how to correct it, you're okay. So
Yeah,
I do.
yeah.
That's one of my moments, and it's more so me in the salon versus like the salon that I worked at before, where I had someone over me. The owner would help me, but when
Ah,
I moved to my salon, it's like, girl, who are you gonna call? Like you have to figure
yes.
it out. So as long as you know how to correct it, then and
Yeah.
I'm very honest with clients. Like, okay, this
Yeah.
turned out a little too golden, a little too warm, or it's a little too ash,
Yeah.
but I can fix it for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's almost like, you're playing a guessing game. Like, okay, let's hope this
Yeah.
toner comes out the way I thought it was going to
Yeah.
come out. And you're like,
Fingers
oh,
crossed.
no. You're like, thank God it worked.
Yeah.
Versus you're like, oh God, I messed up.
Right.
Please. But it's you're approach it, you approach it in the right way. You are honest with the client. You're like, hey, this didn't work out the way I thought it was. Let's fix it. And I'm sure people appreciate that. Your
Yes.
honesty. Absolutely. Instead of
Yes.
trying to just hide it and be like, "Oh, it's great," knowing it ain't, and then the
Yes.
client come back complaining that they don't like it. So yeah, that's one way to keep people coming in the door. That being honest. So once you graduated from school and you mentioned you were working in a salon, when did you decide to, you know what, I think I'm going to step out on my own? Like when did you decide to do that?
I want to say I was there for maybe 2 years. I love the
Okay.
salon. Like, I love the girls in the salon. It was really like, I never really worked in salons. That was probably like my first one outside of like the apprentice, not apprenticeship, but the assistant that I was to another hairstylist. But the bond amongst the girls was really good. We would all like piggyback off of each other. We all had our different areas. So it really was not even that. It was more so like, okay, girl, I think you can take it to the next step, And then once
Yeah.
I started incorporating like the extensions and learning the techniques of it and like narrowing down like, oh, this is the technique I just enjoy doing. I was like, okay, I can kind of branch out and do my own thing. Um, but
Mhm.
I think I was maybe there for 2 years.
Well,
I was
I mean,
two.
just what I heard you say is, so you graduated, you were then an assistant to a hairstylist, and then you worked in a salon for 2 years where you can collaborate with other stylists to kind of build on your skills and your education. And then you moved into, then you thought, okay, the next step, like this. First, I went to school, then I assist, then I work with other stylists, and now I'm gonna branch out on my own. That's great that you really took your time and just really slowly elevated your career in that sense. So was it? Tell me about that process of like opening up your salon, and like how did that go? Like how did you like decide on your location? Like was it like was it just like a small salon? Did you have other stylists? Like how that tell me how that process went.
Well, I really feel like it was all like God's timing. Like, it was more so him than me. Cause honestly, it transitioned so fast, like,
Mhm.
and I was a little nervous at first, but then my brother, he does barbering. So he was like,
Okay.
hey, he was kind of leaving from his situation. He was like, well, why don't we just join? I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And my thought is like, how are men and women? I don't know how this is going to go. How are we going to
Yeah.
create a space where men and women are comfortable? Because, women, we don't really want to see the guy. We don't want the guy to see us with our hair everywhere.
Okay.
So,
Right.
so we was kind of like baby stepping. And it was kind of crazy because I had a client come into the salon that I was in. And she was like, well, the salon space where I'm at, they have like a really huge suite available, like really large suite. I was like, oh my God. But, I'm just thinking, who am I going to ask? Like, what do I do? Because you don't really have, I didn't really have the
Flavor.
guidance to say this is how you open up a salon. This is what you need. Like, you don't think
Yeah.
about all of that. You're just like, okay, I got the chair. I'm ready to work. But it's a lot of
Yeah.
like, you got to get your website. You have to you have to get a lot of things in order.
Right.
So me and my brother basically just joined together. And we've been there for 5 years, and now we're looking to grow into a larger space. And it's mostly been
Wow.
like this space where it's like a salon suite space, but it's like its own, it's really large. So we've
Yeah.
had like stylists in there, come and go. Sometimes, they have their different like areas. Like one may do like quick weaves or so. So we're trying to now like grow, and we had to narrow down like what did we want out of salon? Like what
Yeah.
clientele. We have to be kind of mindful of that with the guys, I mean the men and the women. So like,
Yeah.
so I had to now like, well, now where we're at is like we're thinking all of that through. What kind of
Yeah.
space we want it to be relaxed, and we want it to be an area where people kind of unwind, and still be in a mix of men and women.
Absolutely.
So but it's worked out for us for a while. Our 5-year anniversary was July 4th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Five
Thank
years.
you. Yes.
5 years? It's been
I
that long?
know. I know. Time is just flying.
That's so crazy.
Yes.
So, because I remember you like posting that you were opening your own salon, and I was just like, I'm rooting from the background, like, yes, girl. But that's
Yes.
been 5 years?
Five
That's
years, Mel.
so crazy. So,
Yes.
you and your brother joined forces, and you guys are in a suite type of situation, or Yeah. Am I
Yeah,
right?
it's like a large salon suite, I will say, because it's not like its own storefront.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
still consider it like more of a suite, but it is really large. Like it's not like your
Your
typical,
average
like,
suite.
like the average salon suite, but I
Yeah.
still consider it a salon suite.
Yeah. So it was just you and him in there for now.
Yes.
For now. Now, how did you navigate the between having the men and the women come together? Like, how did you create like a private area for the women when you're I don't know, how did you do that?
Yeah,
How'd you
we
get them
created,
comfortable?
well, we have like two sides. There is
Okay.
a little wall in between, but there's still like an open area. And
Yeah.
so we try to keep it relaxing. We try not to keep it like your typical barbershop or,
Yeah.
like we want it to be like just where you don't even really pay attention, because the
Yeah.
men kind of they feel like, hold on, I need to get my hair in place before I see these women too. And then the way I have my chair and then my brother's chair, we kind of turn it separate ways. But
Away from each other. Yeah.
yeah, we have good talks at the shop. Like it was crazy, but it all came together. Like it, and you can't tell. We don't have too many people in there at one time,
Yes.
so we
Yes.
keep it pretty like
Yeah.
steady, but just kind of cool.
Yeah. And that's great that you and your brother were able to go into business for together,
Yeah.
and 5 years later you're still thriving, and now you're thinking about expanding. Are you
Yes.
to a storefront, or what are you thinking about?
We're thinking of a storefront now and like really narrowing down like, okay, we want to build a team. We want to get like a few stylists, a few barbers, and maybe even like a lash tech in there and still have the same ambiance. We want it to be luxury, like where women and men are coming to relax and enjoy and just receive these nice services. And we want to create an entire experience for them.
Woo, child, you just spoke my language. That
Oh,
is that is what I'm teaching. That is what I'm helping to bring, attention to, is like creating an experience. It's not just about you come in, do your hair and you go about your business. Like, you really are creating a place where people will feel that they feel like they want to come to, and they feel comfortable when they're there. And it's like the atmosphere and the
yes,
music and the
yes,
vibe and all of
yes,
those things are supposed to come. I love it. I'm
that's
loving
right. Yeah. Thank
I
you.
I mean, it's more than just a transaction. I
Yeah,
say that all the
that's
time.
right.
So
That's
I
right.
I I I think you and a few other people that I've interviewed, like, we're kind of like a rare breed
Yes.
in that sense, because I hear a lot of horrible stories about experiences people have in the salon, and so it's refreshing to
Yes.
talk to you and then hear that that's a priority for you, like luxury. Like, it's not just the service part. Like, we're also creating, like, I don't know, like, just a really great atmosphere for people
Atmosphere.
to come into.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, like we said, like, it takes a while to do some of the services that you
It
do. So people
does.
are there for hours on end,
Yeah.
working from home, whatever. They got to take, so
It-
you got to make it, you got to accommodate them.
that's right.
And when I edit this, I'm going to make sure that I put a picture. Do you have a picture of your salon? Like,
Do that. We needed to get like, well, if we're gonna move, then I'm gonna definitely do it at our next one. But I don't have a full picture of like the
uh, I would
besides
love to,
the
like,
background.
yeah, I would love to, like, show a photo of your space. Yeah, you definitely got to do that, because I think
Yeah.
people would want to see it. And that once they
Exactly.
see your space, they're gonna want to come in there.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I'm
It's
gonna put that down.
so what are some of the challenges that you feel like you faced in the 5 years that you've been on your own in your own business? Can you think
Um,
of
Yeah, I would say not knowing the back end. So now we notice that social media content is everything. So I feel like in the
Yeah,
beginning, all you had to do was like post a little bit and then they're coming. Referrals, of course, they're coming. But like there's so much more into like the back end of running a salon. It kind of gets a little overwhelming, but I'm
yeah,
learning now to take it like step by step. Because if not,
yeah,
you'll get overwhelmed and it's like, okay, I don't feel like doing it. But
yeah.
challenges of like, okay, like your business side, like your license, your permits, your continuing education. It's a lot of other stuff that people don't see. You can have the talent, but I think open it up, it's like a lot behind it, like your state codes and like it's a lot.
It is a lot. I know. I think it needs to be talked about more. Like, I think we glamorize the styling portion of this of our business, but we also need to talk about the back end stuff, like the business
Yes.
side of our business, like getting your LLC and making sure
Yes.
that you know your license is
That's right.
renewed every year, and like you're
And
paying your dues, your fees, and like you said, post education, you know, always keeping yourself, because this industry is forever changing, and so like we always have to stay ahead of the changes, and so that we can then pass on that information to our clients, you know,
yes.
and then they can look at us as the expert in our field, because we know what's going on in the field. So there's so much behind the scenes that has to happen, you know,
Mhm.
filing your taxes, like,
Yes.
you know, putting, and I know with our industry, like we get cash, you know, and it's like quick
Yes.
money, you know, fast
Mhm.
money, good money. But
Right.
then you get to, you know, the end of the year and you got to file your taxes, and you're
Yes.
like, oh, I don't have anything on paper. I ain't got nothing written down. You just like, yeah. But what I do like about a lot of these like systems that they have now is that it records all of that stuff for you. You know, whenever you have like, I don't know what I used to use Square, but like it tells you your annual
Mhm.
earnings, you
Yeah.
know, your tax, you know, contribution. Like it really helps to break down a lot
Get
of
down.
that stuff to take away the work out of it.
Yes.
But there were times I remember back in the day when I wasn't really on any kind of system, and I was making good money, but on paper it looked like I wasn't. And when it came time for me to want to buy a house,
I
I couldn't
know.
show I couldn't show
Yes.
what I actually brought in. So
Right.
I
Exactly.
think it's really important to kind of highlight that. Like it's like you said, it's one thing to have the skill, but then you also got to know all of this other. You have to make it your business to know all of the other stuff, because
Yeah.
you don't want to, you know, get to the end of the year and you're like scrambling or
Yeah.
losing out on money, or you know what I
Yes.
mean? Or
That's
so
true.
it's so true what you say. So now that you've celebrated 5 years of being a business owner with your brother, and you're thinking about growing and scaling, do you have like do you have people in mind that you want to consider for your business? Is it you're gonna kind of stick to your niche of extensions and color, or are you I know you said you wanted to bring in somebody who does weaves and lashes. So like
Yeah.
what are some of the strategies that you've come up with to help scale your business?
Really just narrowing it down. Like, okay, we want to stay where I want the stylists to be free in what they want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like that are in the salon. So just because I specialize in natural extension or the different methods of extensions in color, the next one may specialize in like silk presses. But I just
Okay.
want the main goal to be healthy hair care, so
Okay.
that people know when you come and book at this salon, we really care about your hair. We care about your hair, your scalp. We're not going to just color your hair or put extensions in your hair to make a quick buck. That's not the
Yeah.
goal. The goal is to first have you like enhance you, and have you feel that self love. Whether,
Yeah.
because I know now, like I hear a lot of clients like, oh, my hair doesn't look, I'm like, girl, like you can wear your natural hair. I don't have to put these extensions in your hair.
Yeah.
That's my main goal is when we get this up and running, it's just to make people feel good and make sure that all the stylists and barbers and whoever else is working in there,
Mm-hmm.
just make sure that they're feeling good. Now, the steps I'm trying to figure out is like, okay, where do I find the stylist? Because you
No.
can post, and so that's kind of where I am now, like just figuring out where to find the stylist, but also knowing what it is that we want. So when we start posting and putting that information up there, we are already attracting those type of
Yeah.
stylists.
You're right.
Hmm.
Yeah,
We don't want the rowdiness or anything like that. We just want to make sure that it's the experience that it is at a top tier, like
I
but
know,
again,
like
yes.
they have to kind of fit into your culture, your
Mhm.
salon culture.
Yes.
So like
Yeah.
because you're curating this atmosphere for people, and so if someone is doesn't fit into that vibe, like they're not going to
Yeah.
it's not going to last because
Right, exactly,
because
and then
they're
they have
missing,
to
huh?
And they
Well,
may have their area, which is fine, but this is like the area that I want to create.
yeah, and that everybody has their own thing. Like, but
Ex-
like if you want to grow your business and you want to keep maintain a certain, experience for clients, then by all means, yeah, they have to be able to fall into line in your salon culture. Absolutely. Like you
That's right.
focus on
Yes.
healthy hair first and
Hmm.
luxury relaxing atmosphere and all of that stuff has to fall in line. I think a lot of stylists that I'm starting to see a trend with like Aveda graduates. I think a lot of us that graduated from Aveda, we really have a different approach when it comes to styling hair and probably more from a holistic perspective and then
Exactly.
focusing
Yes.
on health,
Hmm.
healthy living, healthy hair first,
Yes. That's
then
right.
styling after, I feel like.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Aveda really, excuse me, Alveda really prepared us for that. Like that's what attracted me to the school personally.
Me too.
When
Yes.
I went to visit, I was like, oh, this is interesting because they really approach it from
They
lifestyle,
do.
diet, all of that.
The
So
holistic, like even when you walk in, the aromas, like it's just, you know,
it is. Oh my god. Oh yeah, those scents were amazing, and they
yeah,
taught us. Remember in the beginning, I forgot about that. They taught us how to mix the
yeah,
oils together to kind of make
yes,
a unique scent that I
yes.
love that about Aveda. Yeah, I don't think a lot of schools approach that. What I do wish that we got more of is what we just talked about is like scaling your business and like the business
Mhm.
side of the
Exactly.
salon. Like I wish that we got a little bit more of that because you can have the skill, you can make it smell great, you can be an amazing colorist and all that stuff, but like you really have to I just lost my train of
Yes.
thought. You really
You
you
have to have
really
the
just
knowledge behind it.
you,
Yeah.
yes, you gotta it's like a whole thing. Like there's a lot more steps to it than just styling here. What I was gonna say is like the business. I wish they really had focused on more about business because you can graduate and then you have no clue how to
You,
run a business.
yeah, no, that is so true. That is so true from your customer service experience. Like that is so true.
Yeah, and then I think that is why a lot of sometimes people after they graduate they don't really stay in the business because they find that um lack of marketing or business knowledge like that kind of doesn't give you the clientele that you need to really sustain yourself. So you just kind of have to go get
Yeah,
a job somewhere just because people got to eat. But
you're
I
right.
think
That's right.
schools period beauty
That's right.
schools period should really kind of have a whole like semester dedicated to
Yeah, the business side
whole
of it.
like yeah the business side of this because a lot of us that are natural with hair and go to school we're entrepreneurs, we're creatives, we want to work
Right.
for ourselves, we don't want
Exactly.
to go work for we're just go-getters, so I think we need that as well. Yeah, so
Even if
like
you don't want to open a salon, just having that knowledge behind you as a hairstylist, I'm learning you can do so much more. Like they always say, like hairstylists, they don't make that much money, but I'm like, girl, you can get brand deals, you can go partner with people, you can be a
speaking
freelance stylist and just do everything. You don't have to
yeah
have a salon, but you still got to have
no
the business side. You need to be
yeah
trained on service and
yes
creating an experience for the client or marketing yourself. Like it is a lot behind.
there is a lot behind it. Yeah, you're right about that, and there are so many different avenues that you can go down to make money. You
Yeah,
can be a speaker,
yeah.
rep a brand, like a brand rep, what do they call them, a brand ambassador.
As a brand
You
ambassador.
know,
Yes, that's
yeah,
right.
so like so many ways to make money in this industry. I mean, the sky's the limit,
It
honestly.
is the limit. And I'm learning that. Sometimes you have
Oh
to
girl,
surround yourself by that. Like, or, keep that all in your ear because you're learning, like, you don't have to just do this.
no, you don't. And if that's
Sometimes
what you
you
want
do.
to do, that's great.
That's
And you
right.
can do that for a while, and then like scale again, or try something different, or go down a different avenue. Like there's a lot like what I'm doing, which is like
Yeah.
just educating through conversations. If I can help, if
Yes.
we can help someone up and coming to
That's right.
avoid some of the pitfalls or maybe be better
Exactly.
prepared that's
That's
great, So
yeah.
anyway, so when it comes to like networking, because you were able to really kind of grow your audience, what do you attest that? What do you contribute that to, like growing your audience to kind of build that clientele? Was it mostly um word of mouth, or what do you think? What do you attest
I
that?
would say it was mostly like word of mouth. It was Instagram, and Facebook and like referrals. I have clients and I'm so humbled by it. I'm so thankful. They fly in from everywhere. Like they fly in
What?
from like California, Dallas. Yeah, man. And I'm like, and I always tell them, are you sure I can try to help you find a stylist out there? Because I'm like, you're gonna fly out here and come see me? Like that's just my personality. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
you really even with their maintenance of like their extensions, I'm like, okay, well, let me try to help you find another stylist. Not want me to, I don't want to push them off, but it's like, girl, I don't
Yeah.
want you to have to get a flight to come down here just for me to do your hair. But that lets me know, like, we have to get that education out there. It's like you can do these extensions or whatever you want to do, but yeah, they're coming far. They come pretty far to come see me to get their hair done.
That's amazing. Pat
Yeah,
yourself on the back. That is
yeah,
great.
I know, Bill.
I love it. Thank you for joining me for part 1 of this episode of the Salon Social Podcast. Tune in next Sunday for part 2. See you then.